Hey everybody, welcome back to Blender 3.0 training. Here I'm going to go over a couple of different things with you. I'm going to be covering keyboard shortcuts and how they can actually make your life a whole lot easier when you learn to use some of these shortcuts. And I encourage you to, when you are working with Blender and getting to know it, go over to Edit, come down to Preferences, and I'm just going to bring this over into the screen. And when you come over to Key Map, just select Key Map here, and this brings up all your keyboard bindings. And you can come down and take a look at all the different keys that allow you to do things here. So if I click on screen, you can see, for instance, if I want to repeat the last, it's a keyboard Shift R to repeat the last control. And if you want to undo, you've got several undos, command, control, function. You've got lots of different undos here. I really encourage you to go take a look at these as well. Maybe you can set this up the way you like it, but before you get too involved in changing it, just get used to the way Blender works. And now let's cover one of the things I think I've covered in the videos before. I covered the N key. So the N key actually allows you to remove and bring back the N panel tabs. These are the N panel tabs here. If I press the N key in the 3D viewport, you can see that panel comes and goes, and it brings up all the little tabs that we have here in our 3D viewport. Let's go to Shift A. So we put our mouse cursor in the 3D viewport, and if I hit Shift A, hold Shift down, press the A key, it brings up the Add menu, the sub-menu for adding. And here we can add in meshes, curves, surfaces, meta balls, text objects, volume, physics options, anything that's listed here or anything that you have active can be added in the object's 3D viewport. So keep that in mind. Shift A brings it up. If I come over to Mesh and I decide to add in an icosphere, I can bring that in, and here's my icosphere. Then I can just size it any way I want with the S key. There's another short one. If I want to grab an object, press S on my keyboard, I can size it up and down, and it sizes it according to it sizes it amongst where the center of origin is. Okay, now remember the sizing tool also has an option where you can press S and then press X, and it'll only size it along the X axis, which is the red one. If I press S and Y, we size along the green line or the Y axis, and accordingly S and Z, I can size it amongst the Z axis. And then Shift Z, what it does is it sizes my object along the X and Y, but not the Z. So remember that. I'm going to get rid of this so we can see our cube. If I come over here to our cube, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If I hit the S key to size, you can see it puts my little sizing bar in there. And then I hold the Shift Z. Now I can size this among the X and Y. Okay, so play with that. In addition to that, if I hit S and then Shift X, I can size this amongst the Y and Z axis, but not the X. So the shift and the axis that you want to not size, that's how you select it, with the shift and then the appropriate axis. We have R for rotate. I can rotate this, and again we can rotate this by pressing R and then X and only rotating it along X. I can press R and Y, only rotate it along R. Okay, so one of the things that you'll be dealing with sometimes when you're doing 3D models is you'll have to apply transforms to a model. Now, I'm going to get into that in future videos, but just remember this. Control A on a Mac or a PC brings up the Apply menu, and typically you're going to apply rotation and scale to objects, and the reason you're going to do that is because as you size objects, for instance, if I hit this S, Z, and then size it up, you can see what it does is it kind of deforms the orientation of my object. And if I try to make some alterations to this model, it's going to look a little bit deformed because, for instance, if I hit, let's go into edit mode, I'm going to select the top face here. If I hit Control B to bevel that, it's not beveling it correctly. It should give me a 45-degree bevel on that, but it's not. So for instance, if I go back into object mode, press Control A and align the rotation and scale. Now if I go back into edit mode and try to apply a bevel to this, I am going to get a nice chamfered 45-degree edge. So that's one of the things that you're going to use the Control A for, is to apply the rotation and scale of many objects. Okay, so if you ever want to undo something, Control Z on your Mac or PC will undo everything that you've done. And we've set up before when we went through the preferences how many undos you should have. I think I set mine up for 70 or 75. It depends on the memory of your computer, the speed of your computer, how much it can handle. Of course, you could go higher or lower. Okay, one more thing is if you ever zoom in and you can't get any further into a model. So for instance, I'm using my mouse wheel. This is as far as I can zoom in, but let's say I want to zoom in a little closer. The Shift B allows you to box select, or I could hit B and box select this area here. It still doesn't allow me to zoom in, but if I hit Shift B and I grab this section here, you'll see it jumps in a little bit, and now I can zoom in even farther into my model. So keep that in mind. Shift B allows you to zoom in with your 3D viewport. It'll also work Shift B in edit mode. So if I do that, you can see it'll zoom in edit mode also. If you ever want to look at this in a rendered view, you could press the Z on your keyboard and it brings up wireframe view, rendered view, solid view, and material in a little pie chart. This is a little pie menu. So for instance, if I want to look at this in material view, I could click this button here, or I could just press Z and then the 2 on my keyboard. It'll do the same thing. Okay, one of the next things we want to cover is the tilde key. The tilde key allows us to change camera views or perspectives of what we're looking at our model. So if I press the tilde key and I want to look at this from the front, I press that, the 7 key, so I could press the tilde key, brings up my pie chart. Now I've got a quick access to, front, left, back, bottom, top, and you'll get very good at using these as you move along. You'll find that it's very easy to use the tilde key to navigate your viewport. Also the X key, if I press the X key, I can delete that object. Boom, it's gone. So if you ever want to delete something, either in edit mode or in object mode, X is the key. You can also press the delete key on your keyboard. Okay, so let's go back and let's go into edit mode and let's just show you this little trick. I'm going to tab on my keyboard. That goes into edit mode. And now let's take a look at these little boxes up here. These three little boxes represent vertices, edges, and faces. So for instance, if I want to select edge loops on my model, I could press 2 on my keyboard. Okay, so press 2 and you'll see it changes it to the edge select. If I press 3, you'll see it changes it to face select. And if I press 1 on my keyboard, it selects vertices. Now you can look at our model and you can see it selected the vertexes here. So when I click, I'm clicking on the vertexes. If I press 2 and I click on it, I can press it, I'm selecting the entire edge. Okay, so that's one way to do it. In addition, in edit mode, when you have one of these selected, for instance, I have edge selected here. If I press and hold the Alt key on my keyboard and press and click on an edge, you can see it'll select multiple edges. I can also do Shift, hold that down and select as many edges as I want. Okay, see how that works. And I'm going to do something here. We're going to subdivide this cube. Let's see, I'm going to right click on the model, come down to subdivide, and I'm going to just select 3 here. Okay, so I've got 3 subdivisions on my model. Again, if I come over to edge select, I've got an edge selected. If I want to select this edge to this edge, I have that selected first. Hold my shift key down, select this one. You can see it's individual, but if I select this one first, I hold my control key down and select that bottom one. It should select the entire line, which it does. It selects all of those edges. And that would be the same with faces and vertices. Now, if I want to select the entire band around the entire model, for instance, I want this edge, but I want it all the way around the model. I'm going to hold the Alt key down and select the next edge next to it. And now you can see I've selected the entire band of edges in a circle around that. In addition to that, I can hold the Shift key down and I can come over here and select this edge. And when I do that with Shift and Alt, it selects everything that I've clicked on in a complete circle around the model. So go ahead and play with those because 1, 2, and 3, selecting your vertices, your edges, and your faces will come in handy when you're doing editing. Okay, C select. Let's go into object mode, and if I hit C on my keyboard, I can select multiple objects. Hit the escape key to get out of that, or right click off your model. If I come into edit mode, and let's deselect all. And let's say I want to select faces. So I'm going to press 3 on my keyboard or come over here and click the face select. And now if I press the C key, it gives me an option to select multiple faces. I'm just kind of holding my left mouse button and selecting the faces that I want. Middle mouse unselects, left mouse selects. Okay, does that help you? It should. Okay, so that's the C select. When we're done, we can just right click off our model somewhere. We talked a little bit about bevels, so if I want to apply a bevel to this marker here, let's say this is a good idea when I'm coming in to do an edge select. I'm going to deselect all. I'm going to hold my Alt key down and select this edge here, and then I'm going to hold Shift and Alt, and I'm going to select this one here, and we're just going to work our way around to the entire top, all the edges on the entire top of the model. And I'm going to press Control B is the bevel tool, so I can bring that down. And you can see we have a nice chamfered edge. If you have a wheel on your mouse, which most of us do, if you scroll up with your wheel mouse, you'll see you get a nice bevel to that, a nice curved round bevel, and I can increase and decrease the number of edge cuts I'm making in my bevel, which gives you a little more detail. Just remember, if you're doing a low poly model, you might not want as many, maybe 2 or 3. And if you want a high poly model, you can kind of go in and increase. Now, let's say I want to merge a bunch of edges or vertices. So we're going to go to vertices first. The M tool, or the M key on your keyboard, allows you to merge a bunch of vertices in a model. Now, this probably isn't the best model to use as an example, but let's say I'm going to press C to select, and I'm going to select these four verts. And if I press M on my keyboard, it'll say merge them at the center, at the cursor, or collapse. So if I do at the center, you'll see it merges them at the center of the points at which those 4 vertices were. I'm going to press Control B or Control Z to undo. And let's press M again. And let's do at cursor. And now you can see it sucks into the 3D cursor. Not my mouse cursor, but the 3D cursor. I'm going to press Control Z. The 3D cursor is this little red and white location here in the center of our workspace. You can move that just about anywhere you want. So keep that in mind. Also, if I press M now and come down to collapse, you can see it collapses them all. Okay, so basically very similar to the merge. Depends on where we have the vertices on our screen. Okay, so that's how you would use the merge tool. In addition to using that with the M key, you also have auto merge, which when you put models together in edit mode, you can combine or merge the locations of the vertices. That will come in very handy when you're doing very high detailed work, because those vertices can kind of screw up your model if you don't merge them sometimes, and perhaps you want to have that done automatically with the auto merge option right here. Okay, so Control R. Now I'm going to do this here. We're going to get rid of the box, and let's talk about Control R. Let's do Shift A and add in a new cube. Okay, so Shift A. Now you saw how we subdivided it by right clicking on it, coming down to the subdivide in edit mode. I can come over here, select subdivide, but let's say I just want to put an edge loop around this model. So for instance, I have the whole model selected, and I want to put a loop completely around this model. So I'm going to put my mouse cursor right over here at the bottom of the cube with the entire cube selected. I'm going to press Control R, and that puts in one cut. Now, with your mouse wheel, you can increase and decrease the number of loops that you want in your model. I'm going to do 3 here. And then if I left click once, now I can move them where I want to. Okay, so if I want to move this over here, for instance, just like that, and I left click one more time, it makes that permanent. I can come over here and I can press Control R one more time. And now I can get one loop cut, and I can move that over to this location. Press the left mouse button again, and it makes it permanent. Okay, if you don't like that, you can always press Control Z and get rid of that. Now, there's 2 keys in modeling. Sometimes we like to do insetting, sometimes we like to do extrusions. So the E key and the I key for extrude and inset. So I is inset, extrude is for extrusion. So for instance, if I select this particular face and I press the I key on my keyboard, I'm going to move my mouse over to the right. And now you see it gives me that line. You can see I've created a new face and inset that face with the I key. And you can see now it gives me the ability to model this. Now let's say I want to, I'm going to Control Z to get that flat. If I want to extrude this and bring it down, I can press the E key and then bring it down along the Z axis. And you can see I've got a nice indent in my model. So if we look at that, pretty slick how easy that is to do. And then again, I can go back into edit mode, select that face, press inset again. I'm going to bring it in, and then I'm going to press E to extrude and just bring that out. And now I'm going to give this a Control B for a bevel, and I'm going to give that kind of looks like a little button model. So you can see I have quickly modeled this little button with just the E key and the I key respectively in edit mode. So keep those in mind. And in edit mode or in object mode, we have Shift S. Now Shift S is going to come in handy. A lot of times what you want to do is move things around in your workspace. I'm going to turn off the end tab here. A lot of times I want to like adjust things to where they are in the 3D viewport. So for instance, if I move this up and over and I want to bring that back to the center of the screen, with that selected, I can press Shift S and then let's see, selection to cursor. Remember, it's the cursor, the little red and white circle, not the mouse cursor. So if I select this, it brings that back down into the middle. Okay, so now I can also do a couple of things. For instance, if I come over into edit mode and I select vertex and I want to move my cursor to a specific location, I can select the location with that vertex point. Then I can press Shift S and then I can move cursor to selected. So let's see, cursor to selected is right here, and it brings in my, I'm going to press tab to go into object mode, it brings my 3D cursor to the corner of my cube. Okay, so now if I want to take this and I hit Shift S again and I say selection to cursor, you can see it brings it to the cursor location, not necessarily to the center of world space. In contrary, if I want to put my cursor back into world space center, I can press Shift S, cursor to world origin is 1, and it brings my cursor back to the center. And now no matter where I want to move my cube, Shift S, selection to cursor, it brings it back based on this object's center of origin. So those are some keyboard shortcuts I hope you go and learn because they are very important to use. You're going to find that you use them quite often and they come in very handily for modeling. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. In the next video, we're going to start doing some basic modeling and I will move into more advanced topics from that point. So let's get started with modeling.